More injury woes for Yves Bissouma. Spurs could welcome back a host of injured players for Villa. Kudus continues to shine while on international duty, while Ben Davies is set for 100 caps for Wales. Minutes for Mickey van der Ven and Javi Simmons, Danzo and Vuskovic miss out, and the Spurs women narrowly miss out at Chelsea. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines where I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. And just a quick message to all of you who voted for us at the Football Content Awards 2025. The voting is now closed. Thank you very much for your vote. The finals take place at Ellen Road in November. Okay, let's get into it. Football.London report that Tottenham midfielder Yves Bissouma was taken off with an injury just moments into his first game of the season on Sunday night. The 29-year-old missed the start to Spurs season with a knee injury, but had got himself back into a position of fitness where he could be called upon by Mali during this international break, joining up for their second World Cup qualifying game of the fortnight against Madagascar. Bissouma entered the fray at the Stade Modibo Keita in the 66th minute, but reports from the 4-1 victory claim the midfielder was almost immediately injured after a challenge with an opposition player when the ball first came his way. The Tottenham midfielder was reportedly unable to walk off the pitch on his own and required a stretcher to take him off. Bissouma's knee injury had scuppered the chances of a move away from Spurs this summer. The former Brighton man's contract at the North London club is now approaching its final 9 months, and Spurs were looking to let him leave with a transfer to Turkey and other Premier League sides muted. Now Bissouma looks to have another injury to deal with. If it is an ankle injury, as one social media report claimed after the game, then the Mali international has a previous with such a problem, having missed a chunk of his first season at the club with a stress fracture in his left ankle in Feb 23, which required surgery. The Standard report that Tottenham could welcome back multiple players on their return to Premier League action against Aston Villa next weekend. The first of those is Dominic Solanke. Last season's first choice centre forward was hardly featured so far in 25-26, with a persistent ankle issue having kept Solanke sidelined since Spurs' 2-0 win at Man City on August 23rd. The England striker returned to training in recent weeks, creating hope that he would be back on the pitch soon, but that hope has been dashed somewhat by the club's decision for him to undergo minor surgery late September. The second is Randall Kolo Muani. Tottenham's options up front have been further limited by summer signing Kolo Muani being ruled out of 5 consecutive games with a dead leg. The on-loan Frenchman has featured just once for Spurs off the bench against Villarreal last month, but a development over the international break suggests he could be in line for his first start in the weeks ahead. Kolo Muani was back on the grass for a few days prior to his side's last league outing at Leeds, but was not included in Didier Deschamps' squad for France's World Cup qualifiers against Azerbaijan and Iceland. Another player yet to feature for Tottenham is Kota Takaya, who arrived from J-League club Kawasaki Frontale on a £5 million move in June. The Japan international's absence has been down to a plantar fascia injury on his foot, but Frank said at the start of October that he had been back in full team training over a week and was getting better and better. Provided he doesn't suffer any setbacks in his recovery, the 21-year-old could therefore be involved immediately after the international break or soon after. And fellow defender Radu Dragusin, meanwhile, has been back in training since early September. However, the Romanian is recovering from an ACL injury suffered in January, so Spurs are taking their time to ease him back in. Frank said in late September that it would still be a few weeks before he's able to be involved, which suggests Dragusin could be back in action in the next few weeks, if not during the team's next match. Ghana became the 5th African nation to qualify for the 2026 FIFA World Cup when Mohamed Kudus' second half goal was enough to see off recent nemesis Comoros in their final qualifier. Victory in Accra took the home side to 25 points from their 10 Group I games, 6 clear of a Madagascar side who needed to win in Mali to have any chance of finishing top, only to lose 4-1 in Bamako. Tottenham forward Kudus grabbed the glory as the Black Stars became the first nation on the continent outside of North Africa to qualify for next year's finals, with Algeria, Egypt, 2022 World Cup semi-finalists Morocco and Tunisia already through. After a tepid first half when the home side failed to force the Comoros goalkeeper into a save despite 22 goals in their previous 9 qualifiers, the Black Stars broke through moments after the break and Kudus tapped home from Thomas Partey's cross from close range for his second goal of the campaign. The BBC report that Ben Davies is inching closer to becoming a Welsh football's latest male centurion. Davies, 32, is set to join Chris Gunter, Gareth Bale and Wayne Hansey in the 100-cap club in Monday's crucial World Cup qualifier against Belgium in Cardiff. The Tottenham defender has been a mainstay of the national team since his debut in 2012, featuring in 3 major tournaments during a golden period. Ben Davies is a reluctant star. He is the rock around which Wales' defence is built and Tottenham Hotspur's longest-serving current player, yet Davies is not celebrated like some of his peers. That is partly by design from Davies, who is happy to cloak himself in the relative anonymity which comes with having played alongside the likes of Gareth Bale and Harry Kane. Now, Davies wears the captain armband for Wales, albeit in the absence of regular skipper Aaron Ramsey, it is a little harder for him to go unnoticed. Davies is now Tottenham's longest-serving current player with more than 300 appearances to his name. Song Heung-min, who left Spurs during the summer of 2025, was one of Davies' best friends at the North London club. He said, "Ben is one of my closest friends." He said in 2023, "He helped me settle very well in London." Davies and Song caught a train from London to Cardiff together before Wales played South Korea in a friendly in September 2023. True to form and even with one of the world's most globally renowned footballers for company, Davies managed to navigate the journey without much attention and gave Son a hug goodbye on the platform at Cardiff Central and set off to rejoin the Wales squad. Ben is expected to lead the team in Monday's World Cup qualifier against Belgium and in doing so will become the 4th man to earn 100 caps for Wales. Davies will be as important player as ever for Wales, but given the huge stakes for both teams at the World Cup hopes, his achievement might not get the attention it would have done, just as he likes it. Xavi Simons stepped off the bench to set up the Netherlands' 4th goal in their 4-0 home win over Finland in World Cup qualifying on Sunday. The attacking midfielder replaced Doniel Malen in the 79th minute, and just 5 minutes later his pass led to Cody Gakpo lashing in from outside the box to complete the scoring. Mickey van der Ven enjoyed a clean sheet at the other end. He started the game before being replaced by Nathan Ake 19 minutes from time. Kevin Danso watched on as an unused substitute as Austria lost 1-0 in Romania thanks to a 95th minute goal, which dents their hopes of World Cup qualification. They're still 2 points clear at the top of the group though, and it's in their own hands with 2 games remaining. Luka Vuskovic wasn't involved for Croatia, whose 3-0 home win over Gibraltar all but secures their spot at the tournament finals. The Spurs women produced a determined, resolute defensive display which was ultimately punctured just once at Kings Meadow, and that was enough for Chelsea to take the Women's Super League points on Sunday. The bare facts of Chelsea's 27 efforts at goal and 67 touches in our box don't really tell the story, as the Spurs goal was rarely threatened. That was down to our defensive structure and willingness for players to throw themselves in front of the ball. Of those 27 efforts, only 4 hit the target. In the end, it was a moment of magic from midfielder Kira Walsh made the difference. In a yard of space 30 yards out, Walsh switched onto her right foot and drilled beyond Kopp in goal into the far corner, extending the WSL title holders' unbeaten run to 26 matches. Meanwhile, our impressive start under Martin Ho in the WSL now reads 4 wins in 6 matches. Spurs currently sit 4th in the table, 4 points off Chelsea in top spot. Okay, well, here's my thoughts on all those stories today. Firstly, Yves Bissouma. I can't quite believe this. I mean, what was the club thinking, sending Yves Bissouma and allowing him to go on international duty, just returning from injury? I don't get that at all, and it annoys me, quite frankly. Now, look, Bissouma may well have been fit. I'm not a doctor. I haven't got any inside track on this. Nobody out there has, apart from the club. But come on, how long's Bissouma been out, and you let him go on international duty and play? And look, this injury, if it is an ankle injury, it could be completely different leg to the one he did before. I don't know, but for a player that's been out for months, I don't see why or how you let him go on international duty. Excuse me. I just don't understand this one. I really don't, and like I say, it annoys me. Bissouma wanted out in the summer. We were hoping to let him go in January. If this is a serious injury, he's going to likely stay in January, and the club are not going to be able to move him on if you're looking at it totally mercenary, in a mercenary way. And Bissouma's contract runs out in 9 months. So we are not going to get anything for Bissouma by the looks of it unless we can offload him in January. And I say that sounds mercenary, but that is what the club is going to be thinking. They're going to want some return on the investment they showed in Bissouma. But you have to say, why have the club let him go and play for his country after being injured for so long? I just don't understand this one. As I say, it could be a freak injury, it could be on a different leg, it could have nothing to do with it, but these things really are they? And I don't understand that one at all. But get down in the comments, let me know. I may well be wrong. The players returning after the international break against Villa, which would be great to see these players back in some form. Cullen, Moani, Solanke, Takai and Dragushin. I would imagine Moani, obviously we've seen him on the grass in that behind closed doors friendly against Watford. Well, we didn't see him, but he played, obviously. So that's good news. Hopefully that dead leg has cleared up completely now. Solanke, we just don't know about how far he is down the line with that. We might get a bit more information later in the week in Thomas Frank's press conference. But I would love to see both those back. That's huge. It's almost like getting 2 new players in. We've been without them this season pretty much, haven't we? So that's really good news up front in an area where we are quite light at the moment. We're just Richarlison up there essentially, or Tell filling in. That would be really good to see. Well, hopefully at least one of them gets some minutes against Villa. I would imagine it's Moani. I'm not expecting to see Solanke yet, but you never know. You never know. We don't know how far he is along. Let's wait and see on that. Takai we haven't seen at all, as I've said before. So perhaps he makes the bench. I don't know. And Dragushin obviously pushing for a return. Looks almost ready from all the shots we've seen. So Dragushin could again as well make the bench because he looks like he's nearly ready and strong. Kudus scoring for Ghana. What a season Mohamed Kudus is having, and he's fast becoming one of my favourite players at Spurs, I have to say. Such a good start to the season. Really love watching him. He's a player that gets you off your seat, and he's just put his country through, or helped his country get through to the World Cup final. So that's going to be phenomenal for them. And massive congratulations to Mohamed Kudus and Ghana for qualifying for the World Cup. They're going to be a force next year, obviously with Semenyo as well on the other wing. They're going to be a force. I wouldn't want to get drawn against them in the group stage, that's for sure. Again, something on Ben Davies today. Hopefully Ben captains Wales for his 100th cap on Monday evening. As I've said before, and I'm going to say it again, I know some people, oh, Ben Davies is a pass. I love Ben Davies. I think he's brilliant, brilliant servant at the club. Probably his last season, let's face it, for Spurs. But I just think he's been the consummate professional. He's always been there. You know, he's that last surviving member of that Pochettino squad. He's been through so many managers, and so many managers liked him. He's totally underrated, in my opinion, Ben Davies. Look, he's not at the level of Christian Romero and Mickey van der Ven, but he's reliable. He's steady Ben, isn't he? And he doesn't get the plaudits he deserves. So I just want to say, well done, Ben. And I hope tonight is happy for you and your Wales team. Javi Simmons and Mickey van der Ven getting minutes for the Dutch side, which is good. Not too many, hopefully, for Mickey van der Ven. Don't want to put too much stress on those hamstrings. Javi Simmons coming off the bench and setting up a goal and getting an assist, which is good for him. Danso and Vuskovic were not used, as I say, but certainly Austria looked to almost be there at the World Cup as well. And commiserations to the Spurs women who narrowly missed out against Chelsea. Look, you're playing Chelsea. They are a fantastic team. They've kind of ruled that Women's Super League for years. But what a change under Martin Ho for the Spurs women. You know, from where we finished last season to where we are now. What did we finish? 17th last season? To where we are now, Martin Ho's really got them playing good football. And the first 6 games have shown that. You know, we're up there, and let's hope the Spurs women can kick on and stay up as high as possible in the league. But that's all from me today. Get down in the comments, let me know your thoughts on all those stories today. And as always, come on you Spurs.